Chapter 6 of the Dao De Jing, the Tao Te Ching, is 6 lines long. It describes the source of heaven and earth by pointing to an empty valley and a door no one can find. In classical Chinese, the passage reads, Gu Sheng Bu Sai, Shi Wai Zan Pin Jai Main, Shi Wai Tiān Dai Jian, Mián Yu Kun, Yang Jai Bu Kin. In English, the valley spirit does not die. This is called the mysterious female, the gateway of the mysterious female. This is called the root of heaven and earth. Continuous, barely perceptible. Use it, and it is never spent. The passage opens with a valley. A valley is defined by what it lacks: mass, height, solidity. It is a hollow in the earth, and because of that hollow, things live there. Water collects, sound carries, animals shelter. The valley does nothing deliberate. It simply receives. Chinese letter Gu Shén is usually translated as valley spirit, but Chinese letter here is not a deity in any Western sense. It is closer to the animating quality of a thing. What makes a fire burn? What makes a river run? The valley spirit is validness itself, the capacity to hold without filling, to sustain without effort. And this spirit does not die, not because it is invincible, but because there is nothing to kill. You cannot destroy emptiness by removing something from it. Then the text names this quality. Chinese letter Zan Pin, pronounced roughly as Tuyen Pin. Zan means dark, deep, mysterious, not frightening, but unfathomable in the way a well is unfathomable when you lower a stone and cannot hear it land. Pin means the female principle in animals, the one that receives and generates life. Together, Zan Pin, the dark, generative receptivity, not a goddess, not a symbol for women, a description of how the world's source operates, quietly, by receiving rather than asserting. The gateway of this principle is called the root of heaven and earth. Chinese letter Jian Dai Jian, not the tip of the tree, the root, what precedes the visible, what you do not see when you look at the sky. The final 2 lines carry the most weight. Chinese letter Mián Yu Kun. The word Mián is used for fine thread being drawn out, thin, continuous, persistent. Chinese letter means as if barely existing, not announced, not obvious, present the way a pulse is present when you are not looking for it. Chinese letter Use it, and it does not tire, not conserve it, not ration it. Use it however much you want, and it does not run dry, because what is being described is not a resource in the ordinary sense. It is the condition that makes resources possible. There is a kind of power we are not trained to recognize, the power of the receptive. We track force easily. Whoever speaks loudest, builds tallest, accumulates most. We are practiced at that. We become anxious when we sense we lack it. What this chapter notices is harder to see, that the origin of all that force is something quiet and hollow. A room is useful because of the space inside, not the walls. A pipe carries water because it is empty. The valley outlasts the peak, which erodes. Where this might live for a person, in the moments when you stop pressing and find that things still move. In the work that breathes because you left space in it. In the conversation where you listened more than you spoke and something real happened anyway. This is not a prescription. It is closer to a recognition that what sustains is not always what dominates, and that the source of things does not announce itself. The valley spirit does not die. It is not famous for this. It has no need to be. The next chapter is chapter 7.